Fazza once walked where the silence sang, where dawn laid gold on his window's frame, where nights were soft like a mother's hand, and dreams arrived without fear or flame. But peace is a bird with a fragile wing. It rests for a while, then fades from sight. One storm, one whisper, one broken thing, and calm becomes a memory of light. His palace stood tall, but his heart stood bare. Marble and mirrors could not defend against the slow, invisible tear that time and sorrow together send. He smiled for the world, as princes do. A crown can glitter and still feel cold, for jewels may shine in a royal hue, yet cannot warm what grief will hold. The fountains danced in the garden square, the roses bowed in the desert breeze, but none could soften the weight he'd wear. A silent ache no I could seize. He spoke in words that were brave and bright, but silence answered inside his chest, for peace had fled in the middle of night, leaving his soul forever unrest. O Fazza, child of the golden sand, why does your gaze hold distant rain? Why does your steady, guiding hand tremble with old, unspoken pain? He remembers a time when laughter stayed, when hope would sit beside his chair, when promises were gently made by stars that seemed to truly care. But stars grow cold when wishes fall, and echoes fade in endless halls. He hears his footsteps in marble's call, lonely between the palace walls. Each corridor keeps a ghost of peace. Each window frames a vanished sky. Each breath he takes brings no release, just heavier nights passing by. The moon once told him, "You are strong." The sun once crowned his youthful days, but strength can carry grief so long it bends beneath its hidden weight. He walks where music used to rise, where voices filled the evening air. Now only memory replies, a hollow song of lost repair. His hands that built, that helped, that gave now clench the air as if to hold the slipping shape of something brave that once made all the dark turn gold. O peace, where did you leave his side? Was it the night the trust was torn? Was it the day his tears he hid, smiling as if he'd not been warned? The desert knows his secret cry. The wind has heard his midnight plea. The dunes have watched him ask the sky, "Why does my heart not let me be?" He sits where lanterns softly glow, but light feels foreign to his eyes. For when the inner fires grow low, even 1,000 suns are lies. The crown upon his head feels wide, too large for thoughts that shrink in fear. For peace is not in royal pride, but in a soul that rests sincere. He'd trade a throne for one calm breath, one night untroubled by the past, one moment not shadowed by death, one joy he knows will truly last. Yet morning comes with duties dressed, with speeches, hands to shake, to guide, and he must bury deep his unrest. Let leadership be his only stride. O Fazza, prince of weary grace, the world sees light upon your name, but who will touch the quiet place where sorrow burns without a flame? He stands before the crowd, so tall, their cheers rise like a hopeful sea. Yet in that noise he hears the call of something lost he cannot see. Peace once lived in his gentle trust, in believing love would always stay. But trust, once broken into dust, leaves wounds no time can wash away. Still somewhere deep, a spark remains, a fragile glow beneath the scar, a hope that walks through silent pains, like a tired man who follows a star. Maybe peace is not a place, not a throne, nor wealth, nor cheer. Maybe it hides in a small embrace, in letting fall a hidden tear. O Fazza, let the night be kind. Let one soft dream reach your shore. For even hearts by grief confined can learn to open once more. The desert blooms when rain appears. The darkest sky still births the dawn. And even after endless tears, a broken soul can journey on. So walk, O Prince, through loss and ache, through echoes of what could not stay. For sometimes peace returns awake in the quiet light of a new day. He wanders through the sleeping halls, where chandeliers like frozen tears hang from ceilings, grand and tall, witnesses to his silent years. The carpets soften every tread, yet cannot hush the thoughts that rise. For even when no word is said, a storm still moves behind his eyes. He stops before a painted frame, a younger self with fearless grin. How did you lose the gentle flame? At which turn did the dark begin? The portrait does not speak, yet knows the weight of crowns, the cost of grace, how public light in splendor glows while shadows grow in private space. Outside, the desert breathes in gold. Dawn spills quietly on the land. But in his chest a night takes hold no sunrise seems to understand. Servants bow as he passes by, voices warm with practiced cheer. But none can read the silent cry he folds and hides from every ear. O Fazza, keeper of others' hope, who gathers yours when strength runs thin, who helps a weary spirit cope when battles rage beneath the skin. He signs the papers, hears the plans, speaks of futures bright and wide, while peace slips through his open hands like restless sand he cannot guide. At noon he stands where children play, their laughter ringing clear and free. He smiles, and for a fragile sway feels something close to what could be. A tiny hand grips tight his own, eyes shining with unguarded trust, and for a breath his ache is gone. His heavy heart grows light from dust. But moments pass, as moments must. The child runs back to carefree air, and Fazza feels return the rust of thoughts too dark, too hard to bear. The evening drapes in amber thread. The call of prayer floats soft and slow. He bows his head where words are said that only breaking hearts can know. Give me, O Lord, a quiet mind, a place where fear no longer stays, a rest no storm can ever blind, a light that does not fade in days. The floor beneath his hands feels cool. His whispered plea dissolves in space. Yet prayer, though small, can gently pull a thread of mercy into place. Night returns with velvet feet. Stars scatter silver on the dome. The world outside seems still, complete. Inside, he feels no sense of home. His chamber waits in shadowed blue, curtains drawn against the sky. But walls remember all he knew. Each sigh he breathed, each silent cry. He lies where sleep should come with ease. But peace stands distant at the door. Thoughts circle like a desert breeze that finds no rest, just circles more. He counts regrets like fading beads, replays the words he can't unsay. The kindness lost, the unmet needs, the love that slowly slipped away. O heart of his, why hold so tight the ghosts of what you could not save? Why chain your soul to every night with memory you must outbrave? A tear escapes, he lets it fall, at last too tired to be strong. For even princes, after all, can only hold their storms so long. And in that tear, a doorway lies, a crack where light may someday start. For truth is born when pretense dies, and healing enters through the heart. He turns his face toward the moon, its pale light resting on his pain. Stay with me, he whispers, soon. Let peace find back my soul again. The moon does not reply in speech, yet lays its glow upon his chest, as if to say, you're not past reach, even tired hearts can still be blessed. Somewhere beyond the grief he knows, beyond the weight of royal role, a quiet, unseen garden grows in the deep soil of his soul. It waits for rain, for time, for grace, for hands that dare to heal the ground, for him to face his hidden place where lost peace may again be found. So breathe, O Fazza, through the ache, through nights that seem too long to bear, for dawn is more than light that breaks. It's hope that answers whispered prayer. Morning does not rush his room. It tiptoes in on threads of gray, as if it knows the tender gloom that wrapped his tired heart away. He wakes not fresh, but something new, a softness where the sharpness stayed, as though the night, in passing through, had gently loosened knots it made. The mirror shows the same old face, the same proud line, the royal air. Yet in his eyes a fragile space has opened, grief now resting there. Not hidden deep behind a wall, not locked beneath a practiced smile, but present, human, standing tall, a truth he's held back all the while. He walks outside before the day can fill his hours with noise and need, the desert cool in silver sway, the dawn still slow in thought and speed. A single bird cuts through the sky, alone, yet steady in its flight. It does not ask the reason why the dark must come before the light. He watches long, and something stirs. A quiet understanding grows. Peace is not what never blurs, but what returns after it goes. He sits upon the palace stair. No guards, No voices, no display, just open wind and morning air that asks of him no role to play. For once he lets the silence be not enemy, but gentle ground, and in that still simplicity a different kind of strength is found. The ache is there, it has not fled, grief does not vanish like a lie, but now it rests beside his breath, not clawing at his will to try. Oh Fazza, this is how it starts. Not with a trumpet bright and loud, but with a man who, torn in parts, sits quietly without a crowd. He thinks of those he could not save, of love that broke, of trust undone, and instead of drowning in the wave, he lets the memory simply run. Like watching clouds that pass above, he sees the pain, yet does not chase, and in that space, a seed of love begins to root in sorrow's place. A servant finds him sitting there, concerned to see their prince alone. But Fazza meets the startled stare with gentler eyes than he has known. Sit, he says, and makes a space, not as a ruler high apart, but as a man who's faced his ache and found a door inside his heart. They speak of nothing grand or wise, of weather, children, simple bread. Yet truth lives in such small replies, in ordinary words once unsaid. And Fazza feels a quiet thread connect his soul to humankind. For peace is not a crown on head, but being seen without a bind. The day unfolds with tasks and calls, but something in his step is slow, not heavy now from inner walls, but grounded, like roots that grow. He pauses when the pressure climbs, he breathes when old storms start to rise. He does not fight the pain at times. He lets it move, then watches it die. Oh, healing is a desert rain. It does not shout. It softly falls. It does not end all hurt and strain, but leaves green life along the walls. That night he stands beneath the sky, no longer begging stars to mend, but thanking them for being high, for light that stays, though nights extend. Peace has not fully come to stay. It flickers still, unsure, unplanned. Yet now it knows a fragile way back to the chambers of his land. And Fazza, prince of silent wars, learns this truth beneath the dome. A heart may carry many scars and still become a place called home. Days do not change in grand display. No sudden trumpet splits the air, but something subtle shifts its way through how he walks, through how he cares. He listens more than he has done, not just to words, but tone and pause, to grief that hides from everyone, to silent, unseen human wars. For pain has made his vision wide. He sees in others what he bore, the fragile places people hide, the cracks behind the polished door. A mother bows with tired eyes, a worker speaks with trembling hand, a child too brave for his small size. He understands without command. And in that knowing, soft and deep, compassion grows where sorrow lived. For those who truly learn to weep are often those who most can give. One evening, as the sky burns red, he walks again where dunes unfold. The wind moves cool around his head, the sand beneath like drifting gold. He does not search for missing peace, does not demand the ache to end. He walks as if both war and cease have learned at last to gently blend. Oh, this is how the healing shows, not by the vanishing of scars, but by the way a wounded rose still turns its face toward the stars. He sits upon a quiet rise, the horizon wide, the world made small, no palace roof, no guarded eyes, just open earth, just sky for all. A memory comes. It does not stab, it settles softly in his chest, of laughter once he could not grab, now held with ache, but also rest. He whispers not a plea this time, not why, not take, not make me whole, but just a thanks, almost a chime, for breath still moving through his soul. The wind replies in unseen grace, the same wind that once heard him break, now brushing light across his face, like dawn upon a silent lake. Peace comes not as a shouted claim, not as a crown returned to shine, but as a quiet, steady flame that says, "This fragile life is mine." It lives beside remembered pain. It walks with loss. It knows the cost, yet does not flee in fear again when something dear is hurt or lost. O Fazza, son of desert light, you searched the world, the sky, the throne, but found at last in darkest night the door was hidden in your own. The palace waits, the world still calls, his duties stand, his role the same, but now no longer inner walls are built from unspoken shame. He speaks of hurt without disguise. He rests when storms begin to rise. He lets the tears fall from his eyes without the fear of losing size. For strength is not the iron stand that never bends, nor shows a seam, but being able, heart in hand, to walk through truth and still dare dream. And so the peace he thought was gone was not a bird that flew away, but something buried, waiting dawn beneath the grief of yesterday. The moon looks down. It knows his face, the stars still write in silent art, but now their light finds resting place inside, not only in his heart. He smiles, not wide, not made for show, but small and real, like earth after rain, a sign that those who truly know deep sorrow can know peace again. And if one night the dark returns, as dark will do in human skies, he'll hold a lamp that softly burns, the light he found behind his eyes. So ends not grief, nor ends all fear, but ends the war he fought alone. For peace has learned to settle here, and Fazza's heart has grown its own.